Are mermaids real? The most renowned reported locating of a mermaid was by Christopher Columbus in 1493, off the shore of Africa. Mermaids, among other mysterious animals, have a colossal influence in mainstream society. Yet, would they say they are genuine, or have they existed previously? These animals of normal excellence that live in the tremendous seas have existed in books, writings, and films for many years. Is this since they were once genuine like dinosaurs, or would they say they are a fantastic hallucination that keeps us innovative and energizes our creative mind? In this article, we will take a gander at the historical backdrop of mermaids and decide whether they are genuine. What are mermaids? Mermaids are delightful animals that comprise of a lady's chest area appended to an excellent fishtail, and they have showed up in messages for many years. A brief extra for 5 arbitrary realities. The mysterious creatures have been expanded on in fables across Europe, Asia, and Africa. The legend of mermaids comes from the stories of merfolk or merpeople. The merfolk were known as water-staying people. Mermaids were the name for the female portrayals of these enchanted creatures. Mermen were the male water occupants. There is no proof that they are genuine, as their portrayals show up inside fables and folklore, yet it is conceivable that merfolk existed, in any case, not how we portray them today. What characterizes a mermaid? Mermaids have been addressed in shifted ways across the world, from enticing fiendish animals of the ocean to delightful, rich ladies. Mermaids are addressed in 2 lights. The first is that they are malevolent flirts that bait mariners into the ocean with their enchanting melodies and alluring looks. The other is that they are ladies of the ocean, similar to an ocean goddess, painted or portrayed in a wonderful, exquisite way. They are demonstrated to be forlorn and aching for a man or relationship and to be human. These portrayals of good and insidious portrayals have adjusted over the long run and have been vigorously affected by Germanic romantic artists and post-heartfelt painters. In Greek folklore, they are known as alarms. They were hazardous animals that enticed mariners. When was the principal documentation of a mermaid? One of the primary documentations of merfolk comes from a Chinese book written in the 4th century BC. The Shanhai Jing is an old-style Chinese content that discusses legendary monsters, the mountains, and the incredible geology of the space. In China, Jiaran means shark individuals and is generally expounded on across archaic writings. The primary appearance of reporting mermen being in the Record of Unusual Things text written in the mid-6th century CE. Mermaids show up in Homer's Odyssey composed around 675 to 725 BCE, where their enticing singing is the enemy of men adrift. This is the principal artistic content that portrays their enticing tunes baiting mariners in, yet in this sonnet, they figure out how to escape unharmed. Mermaids additionally show up in Assyria around 1000 BC. The legend recounts the goddess Atargatis and her change into a mermaid subsequent to bouncing into a lake following inclination, embarrassed about killing her sweetheart. She couldn't take the full type of a fish yet rather transformed into a mermaid in view of her excellence. She is known as the goddess Tartu in Greek folklore. When was the principal locating of a mermaid? The most popular archived locating of a genuine mermaid was by Christopher Columbus. On January 9, 1493, he wrote in his logbook that he had seen something mysterious and never seen. Off the shore of Africa, Columbus saw 3 mermaids that raised over the outside of the ocean. He portrayed them uniquely in contrast to fables stories. They weren't as excellent and supernatural, however more straightforward and fish-like with human appearances. It is contended that he was mixed up and really saw manatees or other ocean animals that could be mistaken for mermaids whenever seen from a good ways. Who was the Little Mermaid? The Little Mermaid is one of history's most renowned mermaid stories, subsequent to being created into a film by Disney in 1989. The story, initially composed by Hans Christian Andersen in 1837, told the story of a forlorn mermaid who was able to surrender her life in the sea for a genuine human spirit. The story was one of the main where an unfortunate story of a mermaid transformed into a story with a cheerful consummation, and it is potentially the most renowned mermaid story across the world. This was one of the primary stories that demonstrated a mermaid to be gullible and blameless, in contrast to most different portrayals of enchanting flirts. There is a mermaid sculpture in Copenhagen, Denmark, where the story was composed, and it is a well-known landmark for vacationers to visit. In conclusion, there is no question that the interest of mermaids will keep on being given from one age to another. In any case, the topic of their reality is obscure and recommends that maybe there may have been sightings or writings that portray them, yet it isn't strong proof to propose they exist. Another hypothesis is that the merfolk might have existed across legends, yet on the grounds that they lived by the ocean doesn't mean they took after a half-fish half-human animal. It may be the case that the portrayals have been deciphered numerous years after the fact to portray a legendary animal. In spite of the fact that they live in old stories, there isn't sufficient proof to propose they exist, in actuality.